We are studying Anishinaabe Moan, that's the Ojibwe language. It's part of a grant that I received to become fluent in my native language. I grew up outside of Detroit, not on a reservation, so I never had that chance, nor did my dad have the chance to learn our language. I've been doing collaborative projects with tribes in the Midwest, but the Mellon New Directions Fellowship allows me to get in much more detail cultural information that I just can't get without knowing the language.
In the field. Kitigaane, such a small one.
It's extremely exciting. Really, this is a dream. Who has a year and a half to study their language or to do anything and really focus on it?
Me, Jess. Then what's the chicken?
The hair dryer.
Hair dryer.
Howard Kimawan is here to teach classes for one academic year. There's really no substitute for having not just a fluent speaker, but a first language speaker. It was always an oral language. It was passed down, our teachings are passed down through oral tradition.
When I was younger, everybody spoke the language, you know. Most anybody that spoke the language didn't speak English. When the electricity came on the reserve and people started to get TVs, the turning point came along where everybody started to speak English. So the language is dying, and it's up to us, the fluent speakers, to pass it on to the younger generation. And we're trying to preserve it by bringing it out here in the open where people are going to learn a few words. In the last month, I've been working on 300 words, and they picked up quite a few.
Birch bark canoe.
When I first talked to Howard about coming here, he talked about, well, I'm making a birch bark canoe, I work with birch bark, and I said, wow, why don't you bring that canoe here to UMass?
When Sonia called, I already had the canoe project on the way. So everything we have here, we brought it from Michigan. It's all Michigan. It's a 14-hour drive. So it was a nice trip. I actually had one student help me drive it back. Brought the birch bark back at the same time, same with the fiber for the canoe to tie it down. And here's the canoe.
There we go. That's it.
The boat's really amazing. I actually really like it because it helps to not just be sitting in a classroom and learning all of this very kind of complicated and strange grammar and words, but to be physically doing something and to be able to say, okay, this is the word for the tools we're using, or this is how to say tighten up the rope, you know? It helps it bring it home.
I haven't studied any other languages, and I was kind of nervous, but I went and it was such a small group, and he makes it very welcoming. We're putting on the layers of bark, wigwas.
It's okay, we can sew it up. Mapi!
And we're taking the wigwap, which is what we're using as thread, but pieces of fiber, and tying them together so they're long enough, and poking holes in these little X shapes, and poking them through and sewing them.
She Bobby, put it from this kid. Look at you doing. You're good.
Yeah, I'm not a handy person, but I'm a hands-on learner and a visual learner. So if I have something applicable to what we're doing, and I can learn the language a lot easier from that. And we've had classes where Howard occasionally will tell like a story or two, and you end up learning a lot more culture than you would like another standard language course.
Well, yeah, I actually didn't know coming into the course that we would be working on the canoe at all, but it's really fun and it's awesome, and it's one of the most interesting things that I think I've done at UMass so far, because I don't think that I've ever taken a class that kind of brings everything full circle. You know, we're learning the language, we're learning about the culture, and we're actually building something and working with each other to accomplish something, and it's been really awesome.
Nishin.
Our plan is that the canoe will be done by the spring. So we're hoping the end of April we will launch that canoe into the Connecticut River. I think it's probably been 200 or 300 years ago since that river saw a birch bark canoe, so very exciting.
There's, I think, 8 seats in the canoe. I'm excited to see if it'll float. I trust it will, but it's definitely going to be an experience.